Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Mirror Universe. Hello, everybody. Jordan here. The PH is silent. And yes, I shaved. It was for a thing. I'll probably grow back. So thank you. Any positive comments are always good to read. Today, we're going to talk about the Doomed Forgotten Realms, which is a DM's Guild supplement that chef's kiss. Just if you're a fan of the realms, really, really awesome. Oh, and really quick, I should say that I do have some lore videos planned, but I am currently in a theatrical play, and I've been learning a lot of lines, so my time is limited. Thank you for sticking with me. Stay tuned. There will be more videos on Dungeons & Dragons lore coming up. So the Doomed Forgotten Realms, this is actually two different adventures. This is an introductory adventure for $4 called Academy of Adventure. It can be used for the Doomed Forgotten Realms play series, or it could just be a standalone that you want to use by yourself. It's an adventure for 1 to 3, and then this, The Rise of Vecna, is an adventure for 3 to 10. So what is the Doomed Forgotten Realms? It's a really clever idea. All of the published adventures from Wizards of the Coast for the Forgotten Realms, the idea is, what if all of those didn't have heroes to save them? What if Tiamat was brought back? What if the demons of the Abyss still wander around the Underdark? Arl has now taken over Icewind Dale, and it is just a cold, desolate, lifeless place. So all of those adventures, it's kind of like, what is the worst case scenario for that? And now you're playing in that world. So it's a dark universe of the Forgotten Realms. It's a fun new interpretation of it. And I think if you have played a lot of those adventures, this could be a lot of fun to play a what if scenario. The Rise of Vecna is the meat and potatoes of this, and what we're going to talk about today. It is a $10 PDF for about 170 some pages, I think. Nope, 124. So I was wrong. 124 pages for that PDF. It's a full adventure from levels 3 to 10, taking place in this post-apocalyptic Forgotten Realms kind of world. And I just want to point out, too, as I was scrolling down, the author here, which I think is, Marcus, who I've dealt with in the past. But this Quill and Cauldron, they made this Shadowfell book, which I really, really liked. And they sent me the Plains of Acheron, and they have like these epic character books. So he's been making this team, I should say, has been making a lot of really awesome stuff. And this is no different. It's a really fun, cool look at the realms. So briefly, we're going to look at Adventure Academy. This is the introductory adventure. You are part of a school and you have to graduate, and then there are things that are happening in that. It's just very introductory, and because they've kind of made it that you can use it anywhere, there's no real incentive to kind of play this. And if I was going to run this, I think I would just start at level 3. So it's a good supplement. It's a good game. And if you want the whole collection, I would encourage you to get it. I just think I want to start at a later level, like level 3, level 5 is kind of where I want to start my D&D games now. But the Rise of Vecna. So the idea here, as I was mentioning earlier, is that the Doomed Forgotten Realms is a what-if scenario. So Vecna is kind of this ultimate villain in this storyline, and the soulmonger that Acererak created in Chult has just been growing and feeding this whole time. Using his whispering influence, Vecna has made the Cult of the Dragon rise up, and they've summoned Tiamat. He tricked Gromf Bonre to send a whole bunch of demons throughout Menzoberranzan. And all along, while this was happening, the soulmonger fed and fed and fed. And so now evil has ruled these lands. Vecna was reborn. He gathered to his banner all that was evil, not just his cultists, but orcs from the Dark Arrow Keep, Yuan-ti from Najara, giants from all across the Sword Coast, and liches from Warlock's crypts, all fought at his bidding. The realms, devastated by repeated calamity, fell quickly, and in less than a year's time, Vecna ensconced himself within Waterdeep, declaring himself Lord of Toril. In this adventure, you're going to start out as some kind of cloned vat creature, and that is straight up from the Jack Vance novels, I believe, but a very lich kind of thing to do. And so you are grown, and you kind of come out of this vat, not really knowing what is happening, or the world is new to you. So it kind of encourages you to have your characters make their character, and then they discover that they're like not actually the elf they thought they were, or whatever. They're just these weird vat-born creatures. They do a great job with the adventure summary, so you know what you're getting into, and they have a very fun map of the realms here, or of the Sword Coast, I should say. Detailing all of the terrible things that are happening within the realms. So Zagut Mycos, so this whole forest is now just mushrooms and terribleness. The frozen wasteland of Icewind Dale up here. Neverwinter Woods. Evernight is here instead of Neverwinter. This also incorporates Storm King's Thunder, so there's a lot of giant stuff going on as well, but this is just like a ruined Sword Coast, and I love it. You're going to start in Mirabar. You're going to go traveling around. I'm not going to get into the gritty of all of this, but needless to say, your objective is to grow in power and to thwart Vecna. But you can't attack Vecna directly. You need to usurp the powers that he's taken control. So using story elements from Storm King's Thunder and Tyranny of Dragons and Out of the Abyss, you're going to go around and kind of revisit those places. Well, I say revisit. This might be the first time that you play it, but the idea is that you go back to these places, only they're decimated. You collect objects of power, and then you're going to destroy those to kind of thwart Vecna in the future. I get the sensation that this is a ongoing saga, because he references a couple of books that I can't find, or a couple of PDFs in this doomed Forgotten Realms world that I cannot locate in the DM's Guild. So I don't think they're out yet, or they might be coming out at some point. There is a dead dryad that believes it is the zombie form of Shantia, the goddess Shantia, so that's really fun. There are some really fun maps, really fun art. This font is really reminiscent, or I think it is the exact same font. I think it's Dreadful, which is the Kids on Bikes font. That's how I always interpret it. Now, if you have been a fan of my channel, you probably are aware of this idea that I saw on the internet where they were trying to combine all of the Forgotten Realms adventures into one mega adventure. So while you're trying to figure out the ordering of the giants, there is a soulmonger that's and a death curse that's causing a bunch of problems, but you also have to go to the Underdark and take care of that. This is kind of that idea. Let's take all of those adventures and put it into one, but it reverses it.
Strike that. Reverse it.
In the fact that all of those adventures happened and the bad guys won. How do we move forward in that kind of a world? I think the ideal players for something like this would be, I have played through the majority of those, or you've ran the majority of those, and now we're going to play in that again, but in this, I keep saying what if, but it's the best thing, like the dark universe, the what if of the Forgotten Realms. It's a really clever take on it, and I don't know, if you're like me and you like the realms, this is kind of it's a really fun idea, but I don't want to give away all of the cool stuff that's in here necessarily. And I really like this, and I would consider running this in the future. It's just great. It's really, really fun. I think this is a really awesome supplement. If you guys are interested, I really only review things that I like. And so this came out a little bit ago, and it's top notch. It's a fun new twist on the realms where just what if the world is not the friendly, awesome place, and your goal is to stop a lich god. This would also be fun as a Barovia, perhaps, like a domain of dread of the realms, if you will, in Ravenloft. And you stumble in this, or I love the idea of like maybe your party goes to Ravenloft and then they come back and they're just like, what happened? So really cool. I think it's fun. They write a good story. It's a really clever idea. I think they have a part 3 coming because they kind of allude to it in the text. And they also talk about a Forgotten Realms or a Doomed Forgotten Realms gazetteer, which will kind of be like, here's all the different places in the realms and the current state of them under this diabolical rule of Vecna. So there you have it, Doomed Forgotten Realms. If you're interested in some other DM's Guild reviews, I'll put a link up here. If you're interested in how you would combine every Forgotten Realms 5e adventure into one mega adventure, I'll also put a link to that video and you can check it out. Maybe there will be some hidden obelisks somewhere and you can use those to teleport back in history and save the realms that way. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I will see you again in the next video.